FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz, and today is February 27th, 2017. And with us, we're really thrilled to have Arch Crawford, crawfordperspectives.com. And Arch, it's great to have you back. And, well, the market, it just keeps chugging along like Old Man River. And, well, when is it going to go down, or is it ever going to go down again? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, an oddity in the statistical sequence right now is that the Dow Jones has been up for 11 days in a row. The other indices have been up like 9 out of 11 or 10 out of 11. The Dow has been up every day, which to me usually happens at significant bottoms or into significant tops. Mm-hmm. So I'm a little concerned. It also so far has peaked. This weekend we had a solar eclipse, and when things are emotional one way or the other, they tend to turn on new moons, full moons, and eclipses are very powerful individual special cases of new and full moons. This is a new moon solar eclipse that occurred about, I guess it was around 10 o'clock, 2 minutes to 10 Eastern time. And what I said in the newsletter about that was that the solar eclipse at 8 Pisces, Mars conjoined Uranus opposing Jupiter. This one could get very ugly if one is not circumspect. Now, of course, politically, it's getting very ugly. We don't know if that will transfer ever soon or ever to the stock market. Now, the historic perspective on that is when there's been a great deal of contrary feelings with each other on the two political parties. When the politics have been especially in turmoil, the market tends to go down, and this market is, of course, up 1,000 points since Trump got elected. So it's nothing is following normal patterns, or very little is following the normal pattern. So it's been my opinion for some time that the market is very, very tightly controlled. And the only times that we've had intraday changes, in other words, right now we're at 48 days where the S&P has not moved 1% in this steady advancing period, which suggests to me that it's being tightly controlled. The only times that we've had down markets have been at surprise events, most of them overseas. The one here was, of course, the Trump win on election night. And the market was down, the futures were down limit when that hit at midnight. And although that was as low as it got, they were down, the 5% limit on the futures. But all the other events were things like when the Swiss unhooked their currency from the euro dollar, and that was a huge change in international currencies that I'm sure there are a lot of bankruptcies still pending over that little movement. And the Chinese devaluing the yuan was another event that brought, I think it was August almost a year and a half ago now. And the other things have been, international changes that were a surprise and were very violent in the markets internationally. So that has upset temporarily the tight control, but it seems to have gotten back in to operation very shortly after these events. So the thing that concerns me right now is this rise into the solar eclipse and the rise in interest rates. But that's for the market. Now, the 30-year bond chart that I have shows on the weekly chart, came down from its high in the middle of 2016 to the 200-week moving average, and it's been consolidating since maybe November or early December, just above the 200-week moving average in a very, very tight range, sideways range from then. So the interest rates have been very tightly controlled as well. The 10-year, which everybody is following these days, have been in a multi-year, very steady, consistent downtrend. And when was it? It was in I don't have it in this chart, but it broke out on the upside of an internal channel line, but not the big channel line, which was currently running at about 3%. It did not get up to that. That's the more powerful external one, and the internal one was at about 2.3, I think. And it went up above that briefly and has been consolidating above the internal downtrend channel line. And we'll see if the trend right now towards higher interest rates will take it above the 3% line, which would be a 40-year change in direction of interest rates. So that will be a big deal if it makes it. It's already a big deal that it broke above the intermediate downtrend channels, but it has been able to hold above it so far. But the interest rate situations are the economic situation is very tentative, and anything can happen in here that could affect things very, very greatly over very, very short periods of time. And so the markets are a little on tenterhooks with the tight control and the very large percent changes that have taken place that cause a lot of danger and turmoil with traders. Mm-hmm. I can go have another look at that. Let's see, what page is that on? The gains, the 10 years holding at 2.35. It's holding above the 200-day moving average and the long-term internal trend channel line. So if it goes, it has to go above 3% to get over the external line. Mm-hmm. And but if it could easily drop back down, and that would have to be in a case of some economic dislocation that's at this time unexpected by anyone. So I'd say the next important thing is that the dollar index hit its peak on the 3rd of January and has been in a downtrend since. We haven't been on a short-term uptrend since the first day or two in February, but that is losing momentum now, and the dollar index must go above 101.7 or so to reinstate a short-term uptrend. With the MACD the momentum is dying down, and it has to get up there quickly in order to not drop further on the dollar index. The gold has been the best performer since about the middle of December, 15th of December, I think it was, that the low came in, and it's been very steadily higher. The 50-day moving average has gone from the downside to the upside, and the price of the gold has gotten up just today at $12.64 and change, which is the 200-day moving average, which is still declining. So we have a test point here if it will pull back much from that 200 down from that 200-day moving average, or if it's able to break up through it. There is also a downtrend line on the gold that it will have to go to about 1280 to prove the case that it can get both above the 200-day moving average and the declining trend channel line from some time ago. Mm-hmm. So if it can close above 1280, I would say that is a strong indication that the uptrend has become more sustainable, which it hasn't shown us much lately, but the very recent time it's acting better, but it needs to get above these levels and the 1300 level to promote a general positive feeling and a stronger rally to the upside on the gold. The oil is having trouble getting through the 55 level. It keeps bouncing up to 55 area, and every time it does it, it pulls back down immediately and hasn't even been able to close. I think it made a new high close on Thursday. We're talking here on the 27th now, Monday. So on last Thursday, it hit a new high close at 54.36. Mm-hmm. But it's having trouble breaking to the upside. The 50-day moving average, it's sort of climbing up above the 50-day moving average. So that's giving it pressure to the upside, but it's having trouble at that 55 level in breaking through and particularly closing above it. Both the gold and the oil, the MACD or momentum, and the S&P on the intraday basis have all just dried up to very, very, very tiny movements. Right. So we're in a period of, I don't know what they call it. It looks like it's tightly wound into a spring, and we could get a sharp spring out of these trends and all these things sharply in one direction or another on a given moment's notice. So I don't know if there'll be some kind of economic dislocation or a major city going down in a huge earthquake. Or I don't know what could happen, but all I know is that the emotional cycles here are wound very tightly, and you have to do on any kind of investment. You need to do some kind of contrary protective measure, just in case it goes the other way very strongly. Okay.
So, what do you think looks best coming up here? Or is it just too hard to pull a trend out of this?
I would say the gold is acting better, particularly if it can get through the 1280. Yeah. The oil could be another powerful move if it gets above the 55, but we have had a slowing of purchasing of gasoline. And I think that the economy is in some big trouble, partly. This is strange. I went to buy cat food in PetSmart a couple of weeks ago, and I noticed the cat food prices had jumped up fairly sharply. And I asked the young attendant there that I said, these prices are really jumping up. And she said, oh, yes, it's because of the rise in the minimum wage. They have to make up the difference. And I said, well, yeah, a friend of mine. Actually, I spoke at a stock market economic conference he put on here a few years ago, and he had sort of semi-retired from that and had a New York-style deli here in town in Tucson, and he just folded it. And he had 43 people working there over the course of a week. So, and this girl said, I told her that, and she said, oh, yes, all the small locals are going out of business.
Brilliant. Huh?
I was shocked at that. It's really powerful event.
The minimum wage, it's been proven that every time you raise it substantially over the natural minimum wage, you are going to get unemployment. I mean, there's not even a question about it. It's been proven time after time after time. It always works that way. These studies go back.
I agree with you 100% there. And the thing is, these powerful politicians who push for the increase must know that they are damning us to economic hell.
They don't care.
So they're doing it on purpose, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They want to destroy America, to move it into a North American Union and then into the one world government control. And the populist movement that's happening in Europe and with Trump's election is throwing their plans into total confusion. And they have every asset that they have attacking the populism and the Trump administration.
Yes, so. I don't know.
And it's every day, all day. It's on the radio and in the newspapers and everything, unless you're online and you see the other side of things. You would think he was the devil incarnate.
Well, they could be right. It's too early to tell, but I'll tell you what. He said that the media is the enemy of the people, but you can't forget about the Congress. They are the enemy of the people. You know, Mark Twain said it best.
Absolutely.
No man's life, liberty, or property is safe when the legislature's in session. Right? True?
Well, the market has a strong tendency to rise on days when they are not in session.
Yeah, why is that? Why do you think that is, Arch?
Well, from what you just said.
It's not a coincidence here at all, right?
Yes, I believe you.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. So that's the kind of thing that we have to look forward to. Very uncertain, very choppy, very unpredictable markets. So, Arch, we find your publication at Crawford Perspectives, and gold is looking good again. I mean, in the past 30 days, it's up $70 the ounce. So that's a pretty good performance. I mean, it's coming up off of a very, in my opinion, perhaps manipulated or oversold position at the end of December for sure. So it kind of had to go up, didn't it?
Are we talking about the metals?
Yeah, the metals, gold, silver.
The silver has just broken out in the last 5 or 6 days of a long-term downtrend channel line. The gold has not done so yet, but the silver has, which is, of course, a much more volatile element.
Right, for sure.
And it's leading so far.
Yep, absolutely. So CrawfordPerspectives.com. By the way, any questions, comments on this interview or others, send me an email, KL@KerryLutz. That's KL@KerryLutz. Twitter feed is @KerryLutz. The Facebook page is Financial Survival Network. If you want to subscribe to the show, you have the iTunes program or application on your PC or Mac. It's really simple. You just click the iTunes store, you click the search box, then you type in Kerry Lutz or Financial Survival Network. It comes up. You click subscribe. Automatically gets delivered to your computer whenever we do a new show. And then you're free to listen to it at your leisure. And there's a whole bunch of other platforms where we're getting it delivered to. But if you know about those platforms, then you already know how to get us. Arch, always a pleasure. We will talk to you again soon.
One of the things, we have a three-issue trial that's $50, and you can just Google Arch Crawford, and it'll take you right to our website.
Excellent. All right. Wasn't aware. So CrawfordPerspectives.com, or just Google it. And hey, we'll talk to you again soon. See what the stars have in store for us.
Thank you so much.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to FinancialSurvivalNetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Is it ever going to go down again? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, an oddity in the statistical sequence right now is that the Dow Jones has been up for 11 days in a row. The other indices have been up like 9 out of 11 or 10 out of 11. The Dow has been up every day, which to me, usually happens at significant bottoms or into significant tops.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little concerned. It also, so far, has peaked. This weekend, we had a solar eclipse. And when things are emotional one way or the other, they tend to turn.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival.
On new moons, full moons, and eclipses are very powerful individual special cases of new and full moons. This is a new moon solar eclipse that occurred about, I guess it was around 10 o'clock, 2 minutes to 10 Eastern time. And
Survival Network, I'm Kerry Lutz, and today is February 27th, 2017. And with us, we're really thrilled to have Arch Crawford, crawfordperspectives.com. And Arch, it's great to have you back. And, well, the market, it just keeps chugging along like Old Man River. And, well, when is it going to go down?